Imagine sharing a thought on social media about how mentally drained you were and yearning a day of rest. So you finally prioritize yourself and you take that day of rest, only to not wake up the next morning. Now imagine starting a job just 4 weeks ago and that job being the reason for your demise as a result of added stress, anxiety, and sleepless nights. Now, I say imagine these scenarios, but for these two individuals and their families, this became their reality. Now, raise a hand if you've ever worked in a high stress level field. Now, keep that hand raised if that job resulted in you reaching a breaking point. Now, what is a breaking point? Well, for some, that may look like anxiety, being overwhelmed, not being able to manage your emotions. Me personally, I've cried at a desk from how overwhelmed I was on a job. Now, I may not be a licensed health professional, but I am an employee, a colleague, and a human being that believes that mental health is just as important as physical. In fact, this belief is what fuels my passion for speaking on this topic today. All of us should be advocating and proposing for our employers to provide staff with the tools to properly manage our well-being. Today, I want to highlight the problem of mental health in the workplace, explore its root cause, and present a clear, effective solution. Implementing dedicated mental health days for employees. So, what is the problem? What is the problem with mental health? There's actually a wide spread of mental health crises in the workforce. According to the World Health Organization, depression and anxiety cost the global economy $1 trillion each year in lost productivity. And that's in the U.S. alone. The American Institute of Stress reports that 83% of workers suffer from work-related stress, and over 60% of employees experience symptoms of burnout. Chronic mental fatigue leads to low performance and physical health issues. So why might that be? There is a huge stigma surrounding mental health in the workplace, often being perceived as a weakness. A survey by Mindshare Partners found that 60% of employees have never spoken up about their mental health status, out of fear that they would be looked at as unreliable and simply not strong enough for the job. Another study conducted by Gallup revealed that 75% of employees experience burnout on the job sometimes, while 28% report feeling burned out very often or always. So what do we do? The solution is both strategic and compassionate. The workplace simply needs to implement mental health days. These days will be dedicated to people prioritizing their mental health and their well-being. An NIH study found that employees with access to mental health resources and that are able to take time off have reported significantly lower stress levels. For every $1 that was invested in treating common mental health disorders, there was a $4 return in productivity. So by formally introducing mental health days, companies will invest in their greatest asset, the employee, the one that keeps their business successful. Mental health days aren't just about time off. They are about creating an environment that support balance and stability. The data is evident. Ignoring mental health is costing companies billions of dollars. We should be working on ending the stigma around mental health, and we have a moral duty to do so. If we implement mental health days, we will foster a healthier employee and a more compassionate workplace. At the end of the day, no deadline, no project, and no profit is worth the cost of a burnt out mind. Mental health days are not a luxury. They are a lifeline. They tell the employees, you matter. Your well-being matters. And when people feel valued, they give back in ways that policy can't measure. We have the power to create a workplace where rest is respected, where asking for help is a strength, and no one has to choose between their job and their mental health. So let's not wait until stress breaks us, but let's take action, because when we protect our minds of our people, we protect the future of our workplace. And a healthy mind is essential for a healthy business. I tell people all the time to be the change that you want to see. So let's start today. I encourage you, in fact, I challenge you to be that change that you would like to see, starting in the workplace. Ask HR, ask your boss what needs to be done to implement mental health days and why it is important. And not just for yourself, but for your colleague, for your sister, who has kids and struggles sometimes at home and at work. Be that change that you would like to see, and let's take the steps to create an easier work environment for everyone.